Welcome to this review of football in and around Oxford over the weekend of the 14th and 15th of February with Colin, Ryde and Patrick Locke. Patrick Locke, you witnessed an Oxford City away win, sir.
Yeah, the first for 319 days, I think it was. City won at Farsley Celtic back in February, I think, of maybe not February, maybe April of 2025. So yeah, long overdue away win and richly deserved one, I have to say.
Right, so we can hear Evan Humphreys, a left back, not long joined the club, talking to Andy Gate after that game. You could hear Josh Ashby in the background taking the mickey out of him. So it just shows you what a win can do to make people very happy in a dressing room. They also decide that they're going to big up you small but perfectly formed travelling fans who went there. And you were driver, weren't you, on Saturday? Is that right, Patrick?
I was, yeah. It was only a car of two as well, so I can't even say I had a full car. But I have to say, it was probably one of the easiest journeys I'll ever have up and down the M1. It was stress-free, which is remarkable to say, especially as a colleague reminded me on Monday that it was the first weekend, it's the first day of half term as well. So to actually get a road that quiet was remarkable. But yeah, nice journey at the M1, nice results, nice journey back. What more could you want on a Saturday?
All right, well, let's hear from Evan Humphreys chatting to Andy Gate after the game.
We know it's a hard place to come. They've been unbeaten in the last four. They've changed their way of playing, sort of sit back more in the mid-block, and we had to try and break them down. And I thought the lads were excellent today. Parks and Cal up front, I think, thought were brilliant. I mean, everyone contributed in their own way. Well, yeah, everyone's buzzing. I mean, the change room was electric after, so yeah, buzzing for the lads.
When you signed and we interviewed you,
yeah.
you described yourself as a defender that loved to defend.
Yeah.
Well, you must have loved that game because you had a lot of defending to do.
Yeah, no, I had a couple in the first half. We identified that the winger was left-footed before the game, so I had to stop that from happening and stop that a couple of times. One in the first half, I had a block from him trying to cross it, and the second half, one where I nicked him off him, but then gave the ball away. But yeah, no, we identified what they were going to do and how I needed to defend against that. I mean, we got Robbo in, who's obviously ex-West Brom, knows a couple of the lads at West Brom, so he's been amazing with me and just helping me and giving some tactics over that he's picked up along the way.
We had to really dig deep then.
Mm-hmm.
We've scored two fantastic goals, which is really good to see, especially after a couple of games without one. But
mm-hmm.
defensively, just sum it up what it's like for a player when it's 2-1. You've got however many minutes, you probably don't even know how many minutes are left because you obviously have no scoreboard, not looking at the clock or whatever, and it's just ball into the box, ball into the box, ball into the box. Is that something you thrive off, or do you get a little bit nervy?
I mean, it's a bit of both. I mean, you're scared, not scared, but you're thinking about what could happen. It's natural, like everyone does. But as defenders, I've been defender ever since I started playing football, and I'm sure a lot of the lads that play today are as well. And that's just what we thrive off. We thrive off putting our bodies on the line. You saw Bernie, obviously he's a winger, and Ashby fly into the same ball and got clattered. So yeah, I mean, everyone put their body on the line today. I mean, no thanks to myself giving them a goal. But yeah, I mean, lads stuck together and got me out of it.
Exactly. And at the end, I was looking at the pitch and seeing our lads. Wiggett was on the floor, lads are high-fiving and hugging. How much did it mean to you? I mean, you've only been here for not too long.
Yeah,
it clearly means a lot to everyone out there that he's fighting for absolutely everything out there.
When I first came in, before I even got here, I was looking at the league table and sort of seeing what situation I was in, and realised it pretty quickly. But we're obviously a full-time team, so but every time we're training, it's real clear message of this is how we play and this is how we're going to stop the opposition. So my first game we beat Fylde, who were second in the league, and then probably should have got more out of South Shields, who were first. So you can see that there's a proper group of lads that are fighting for the club, and and again, massive thanks to the couple of away fans that came down, and hopefully it was worth it.
So there we are, very happy Evan Humphreys there, and you could hear the Mickey taking in the background there, and the thanks again from Evan Humphreys about the travelling support, of which you were a num there. So it made some interesting comments there about a young defender having to defend a lot, towards the end of the game. It sounds as though they were really playing for the shirt in that game. But also the fact that the parallels with Oxford United are a bit scary, because Oxford United went away and got a fantastic battling draw at Coventry in the Championship. And then Oxford City have done the same thing. They got off and they've had really good results against top-of-the-table clashes. What is it about top teams that seem to bring out the best in lower teams, clubs, as it were, so, Patrick? Because it's an odd thing, isn't it? You think sometimes they get slaughtered. They don't. They step up to the plate.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? It's quite hard to answer, I think, but City have been like that for years, and I mean, I don't know if it's just because the approach that other clubs come to City at, and when a club is significantly higher in the table, they come expecting to win, and perhaps it's that City take them a bit by surprise that actually we're a better football team than our position suggests sometimes, and perhaps City are better playing on the break and hitting these teams by surprise. And I guess when you're lower down the table, you're going to be facing teams that are in a similar situation, and the stakes are probably a bit higher because you've got these 6-pointers as they're called, and it's going to be a more scrappy game. There's going to be few chances because both teams are almost trying to not lose as much as they're trying to win, and teams higher at the table are more confident of winning. So it's probably a bit of less pressure, isn't it? And I mean, there's a lot of people that say City play good football, and it's one of those things, isn't it? Football's a funny game, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
It'd be boring if it all went to form all the time, wouldn't it?
It would be boring if it all went to form, and I suppose you have to say it would be boring if there wasn't a controversy about refereeing decisions. So, I mean, we've been playing out interviews after interviews about Ross Jenkins actually giving up, even going and talk to the referee after the decisions go against Oxford City.
Well, I have to say, ours on Saturday was pretty good, to be fair. I have to say. I'm not. You know me, Colin. I'm not one to praise referees that often, but I say it was pretty good. But the Worksop town fans disagreed. They were getting on his back almost every decision, booing him and cheering him. But I personally thought he had a quite good game. But I suppose, less so in your game, I think, though, wasn't it, Colin?
Yeah, I was going to say Sunday saw Oxford United exit the FA Cup courtesy of, I thought, a very dodgy decision. I mean, it didn't seem to be like a slam dunk penalty, because I wasn't too sure what he'd given. It took place a long way away from me. I mean, we are at the open end of the stand, and it was at the east end stand of the game. But I mean, you've seen it. I think from one angle, it looks as though he got the ball. From another angle, it looks as though he didn't do. And a penalty decision was given. It was coolly taken the wrong way, but there was also another incident where the linesman had kept his flag down all game, basically, when United were attacking the East Stand end in the second half. Will Lancashire was clean through on goal. There'd been lots of shirt pulling all the way through. I thought his shirt was being pulled and everything else. Okay, so he got around the man and he put the ball in the back of the net, and the linesman raised his flag. So when you luck's down there, and what was interesting in the post-match interview, the Oxford United manager, he was as ticked off as Ross Jenkins. So it just goes to prove whether you're in the National League North or the FA Cup or the Championship, the quality of refereeing decisions and decision making is just absolutely inconsistent. So, and really, you just want consistency, don't you? And you want linesmen to do the job as well. So we talked about.
I may ask you a question, Colin, that may turn us from a 20-minute podcast into an hour podcast.
Go on, then.
But would you take VAR in the Championship over those decisions that were made in that game?
Well, I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd be even more controversial. I would say that I'd put in 2 more people to run the line. So you've actually got someone on each side and each half, to run the line, and get them to actually engage and be sensible about things. Because I think that, so much stuff, shirt pulling stuff, goes blindside the referee, blindside of the linesman on the wrong side. that, and my co-presenter, Richard Palmer, goes absolutely nuts with the shirt pulling that goes on, in everything else. So I think that the technology, the debate has been going on in the national press as well, because what they're saying is that because the top referees now are so reliant on VAR, they've become too reliant on it. So they can't take snap decisions, right? And be in the moment and pay more attention. So they're kind of like always second fiddle to VAR. They know they can go and have another look at it all. So I
always think that they take the safe decision in VAR games now, and it's then they take the safe decision and then VAR makes the brave decision. I think I've seen that a lot more now. I think,
but you see VAR get it wrong. So how many checks and balances you put into the game? I think so. And again, the fact that I said it before on other broadcasts we've done, is that the amount of time it takes sometimes, and I said to you a while back that when I went to see Tottenham versus Southampton, when Southampton was still in the Premiership, when VAR was quite young, it was about an 8-minute delay while they made up their mind as to what was going on. And both sets of fans, both Tottenham and Southampton, were singing, "It's not football anymore." No, it's just.
I'm a big advocate that if you can't make a decision in 1 minute, it's not a clear and obvious error.
Yeah, I agree.
If it takes longer than a minute, it's not a clear and obvious error. Get on with it. Is what I think. But
get on with it. Get a life. Anyway, Matt Bloomfield was.
We'll enjoy our levels of football which don't have it. I think.
Well, I think you're right.
I get angry at referees, and then you forget a few hours later because he's had one look at it. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I think
he's not made a decision deliberately, is what I like to think.
Yeah, and you think that actually he's having to make a snap decision, I think. So, in the moment, in with a lot of barracking going on behind him. So you've got to give credit. And also, it's not an easy job, is it? I mean, I said to you before, I've been out to Tame United on Tuesday night and sat in with the club secretary who has to dole out the cash to the referees. They get about 30 quid in these things there to stand. Would you stand out in the mud and the rain getting abused for the 2 hours on a Tuesday night in a howling gale at Tame for 30 quid?
I sometimes think I can't be bothered to go out and stand in the howling gale in the stands, to be honest. But,
I agree with you. Okay.
It's a tough job, isn't it, being a referee?
I think so. So I think we're coming out. Yeah, we're coming out rather this on the side of referees. It didn't start out like that, did it? But we got there in the end. Right. Okay.
Anyway, back to the results.
Indeed. So back to the result. Anyway, so Oxford United are out of the FA Cup. They're in a similar position. Oxford City, of course, are still in the relegation zone. They've improved their chance of getting out of it, though. Oxford United still have a mountain to climb, and Matt Bloomfield is still ticked off for the fact that he's had poor decisions like City going against him. Also, I think there's a record now. I think that Oxford United haven't been given a penalty for something like 2 or 3 years. So it just goes to show to you that when your luck's down and out, you really are down and out. Right. There was a pitch inspection at 1:00 on Sunday at the Kassam Stadium. It did go ahead, though. And I must admit, I was saying to the BBC crew that I've seen far worse pitches being played on in the non-league football, so I don't know what that was all about.
Well, I just say, did you see Grimsby versus Wolves?
No.
See that pitch it was played on? That was a proper mud bath.
Well,
that was a proper old school football game, I have to say.
Well, you'll hear in as we got an interview with Jamie Heapy and Daz King a little bit later on that one of the Didcot players loves a mouth, but he says he's like a little piggy, he rolls around in the mud and loves it apparently. So we'll hear from that later on. But in the meantime, Oxford United had a bad day at the office on Saturday. Bambi United continued their good run, Patrick.
Yeah, it's 5 wins in a row. They hosted Bury Town at the Spencer Stadium. I think for the second time in a row at home. It was a 1-goal game. They won 1-0, Josh Flanagan scoring the only goal on 47 minutes from a corner. And I think that's how he scored the winner in the previous game as well. So maybe becoming a bit like Arsenal, scoring from set pieces. But even as a Tottenham fan, I don't see what's wrong with scoring from set pieces. Come good at those and you win a lot of games, don't you? But it's a really good run of form for them at the moment. They are in 9th place. They're 5 points off the playoffs, so still a little bit of distance to get. But if they can continue picking up those wins, I'm sure they'll be in and around those that question come the end of the season. So really good win for them again.
And we can hear part of the interview with Kelvin Langmead after the game with Dave England as usual.
Yeah, really pleased. We're finding a way at the moment, which is, a really good habit to get in. Wasn't the prettiest of games to watch, but it was a very step 3 kind of game against a really informed team, 9 unbeaten coming into this. So, for both of us, really, I said before the game that, maybe 6 weeks ago, both of us were kind of looking the other way. But we've both made huge strides over the last few months, and to make it 5 wins in a row, at any level with any team is a really difficult thing to do. So I'm absolutely delighted.
You say you're finding ways of winning games of football. When you're winning games of football, you always seem to find ways of winning, don't you? It seems to grow a confidence in a side.
Yeah, absolutely, and the lads are full of it. There's confidence. You can just see it amongst all of them, really. Lads that at times, earlier in the season when we were all having a dip, had a dip kind of along with it, but they've grown as we've grown. People are really starting to step up. I think as a group of players, and I'll throw myself and the staff into that as well. Everything was very new when we first came into this. It all happened very, very quickly. And it took us all, self-included, to find our feet, understand what we are, how our dynamic as staff work, how the players work. It's a real joy to be a part of, to see kind of the hard work. And we came through the sort of difficult spell that we had around sort of October, November time, and we're reaping the rewards of that now. So I'm just delighted for everyone, really, the football club, everyone who's kind of involved, because it's football clubs are the most amazing places in the world when things are going well, but when they're not, it's blooming difficult. So we're riding the wave of it at the moment. I'm really pleased for everyone involved. It's nice to be looking up rather than over our shoulder, and that's credit to everybody involved.
All right, thanks to Dave England there. And if you want to hear the full interview, just go to the Banbury United website and you can hear everything you need to know about Banbury United and the wonderful Dave England there. Right, it was also good news for Didcot Town on their travels again, Patrick.
Yeah, they've really picked up some good form as well. They're 4 games unbeaten now. They won on the road. We've been talking a few weeks ago about how all their games were ending in home wins, but they've started to pick up results on the road as well. They travelled to Hampshire and had a 2-0 win at Bashley. Both goals came after the break. Paul John opened the scoring on 51 minutes. Before 5 minutes later, Felix Robertson made it 2-0. As always, after the Didcot win, Jamie Heapy caught up with Daz King, and unsurprisingly, Jamie Heapy was a very pleased man after when they spoke at full time.
Jamie, good 3 points, proper good hard-working performance on an heavy pitch, but they played well.
No, fair play to him for getting it on. It's cut up, it's heavy, it was difficult play on, run on, to be fair, but for both teams, and we knew, they've had a few off-the-field issues, and I knew they'd be up for it, and there'd be the work for their manager and run for their manager, and first goal was important. We didn't start great, they started better than us, but we gradually got into the game, and then we had a few words at half-time and come out better second half. I thought we were better second half, but a good win, good 3 points on the road, back-to-back, beating Shaftesbury last week and winning today was good, and then it's another one chalked off, and another 3 points, another game played.
I mean, that's it really now, isn't it? We've turned the form at home and we're doing it away now. It's 4 points in 2 games away, isn't it? So it's home and away.
We spoke about our home form, before Christmas, and it's so important. I said it anyway in previous interviews. Got to win your home games. Then when you're away from home, you pick up your Larkhall and your Melkshams or your Bashleys, and then that keeps you in a good place. But no, put in a big shift today, the boys. It's difficult conditions. Thought referee was all right. Fair play to them. Tough when everything's against you. You feel the whole world against you, and you lose it. And you didn't want to be that team that they pick up and get a win.
You looked before it. I did the thing in the
they beat us at home, didn't they?
Yeah,
so
they looked good at half.
So it's important we did enough to win the game in the end. They huffed and puffed towards the end, but you're going to 2-0 down, you've got nothing to lose, have you? So JP scored again.
He did. I mean, he took it. I mean, I were a bit worried away because he ran away wheeling away celebrating, and I was like, that ball's got to get off that line.
Stop dead. Yeah.
But there were 2 good goals, weren't
they? Were, Felix took his well. Took his really well. But this is Felix. He loves this, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's like a pig in muck, isn't he? He just loves it. Filthy, booked, dirty. He's happy as Larry in there. He thinks it's a great day. What's wrong with his pitch? You know what I mean? Really good. Really good performance in the end, and got the job done, didn't we? So, Inkborough next week.
That's it. It's
tough
another
one.
tough one away.
Got. Like I said to him, we got to be better away from home, and we have been, but we haven't done anything yet. It was important we weren't complacent today, because you can easily. We had a good win last week. That probably no one thought we would win, and we did. But then you can't drop points today.
No.
And then you got to back it up, and we did. But then we got to back it up next week as well. Do you know what I mean? I want us to finish the season strong. Get how many games we've got left now? I don't know. But we just got to keep pushing, and people get in the team, the subs for not getting on. Force me to pick you. Train well. When you come on, do well. Give me an headache. And I want the players to have a threat. Almost. I'm not safe here. My position's not comfortable. Keep pushing each other, and then there'll be players available. We'll be looking at them, and then we're looking for next season, and we're planning stuff. But first and foremost, you've got to worry about getting 40, 44 points, 40, whatever it may be, to stay in the division. But we're in a good place at the moment. Squad's fit and strong. OJ to come back in. So
bench looked stronger.
Connor's back. Our little joker, he's back. So we've got, the spirits are good, but it only takes one result or something to knock that, and then the reality check happens, doesn't it? So we've got to keep grounded and keep focused on what we want to do between now and the end of the season, and get as many points to get on that table, get away from that bottom.
Well, we can say Bashley again now.
Bashley,
banish the memory of last year.
Yeah, I know. We haven't said that for a while. We always say that team or that. And I normally swear when we say that, but I'm not going to do that today.
We can go away happy. Great 3 points, mate. Enjoy the weekend.
Thanks for the support as well,
mate.
boys. Real good today.
So there we are. That's Jamie Heapy talking to Daz King. So again, a very honest appraisal of the day. I can't remember what the Bashley result was last season, Patrick, but it sounds like they got a bit of a thumping there, and they've now buried the Bashley ghost, as it were. So, but big up again for the Bashley ground staff getting the game on, and also thanks again to their small but perfectly formed travelling support. I mean, it makes a difference, doesn't it? I mean, I know you go away, and I've seen you guys behind the goal. 3 or 4. Didn't you get the record for the lowest ever away attendance in the National League, Patrick?
Oldham Athletic.
There you go. So the players.
We missed it by one at Chesterfield as well.
But the thing is that the players, when they've given their all, right? Seriously, they've travelled a long way, and it's been raining cats and dogs and cows and whatever else. Okay. To have a small but loyal amount of support there to clap you off the field, whatever, it must make it seem worthwhile that someone is actually paying attention and actually appreciating the hard work you're putting in. It must have an effect on the pitch, Patrick.
Yeah, and I mean it's tough the last couple of years as well. That it's National League North, and me and the group of people I normally go with. I mean, the National League South and the National League, we went pretty much everywhere, but it's a massive commitment in the National League North to go everywhere, and so we've kind of pulled away from doing every game, because otherwise you spend half your life on the M1 or M6. So there's fewer and fewer Oxford City fans at away games, and sometimes it's Martin Neal on his own, and Martin Neal and a couple of others, and so you maybe have 1, 2, 3 City fans, and I mean, we've always been a small club. We've never travelled in numbers. I mean, in the National League, the majority of teams we played, we would have had 20 odd people there. But I mean, that's the great thing about a team like us, is that you can really see that the players appreciate it every game as well, and. It's really good when the full-time whistle went and we stung a little bit and the players came over and celebrated it, and really good.
We have had good times down at City, I think. So I've been on the pitch with the players celebrating, I think, promotion. So good times there. Hopefully they will return again. Okay, right. We should really big up Tame United, because they had the performance of the weekend again. 7 goals in the first half, and they came out on top. A fantastic game. I wish I'd have gone across there, but I didn't want to take the edge off of their success so far, because I turned up at Wantage, as you know, and they lost their winning edge. But Tame United going great guns.
The first line I've written on my notes is, "How about this for a game?" Yeah, as you say, they were 3-0 down in half an hour against Flackwell Heath at home. But yeah, as you say, Dan West got one back. Louis Walsh scored a brace to make it 3-3. And Finn Murray completed a turnaround to see Tame 4-3 up. And as I say, all before half time. And I mean, 7 goals in the first half. You must be thinking, it's going to finish 7-7 or something ridiculous. But yeah, you must have been probably a little bit disappointed as a spectator when you see 7 goals in the first half and then none in the second half. But another at the end of the day, it's another really impressive win for Tame, who are flying up the table. And after that, they're now level on points with the team in the playoffs. Still got a game in hand as well. So, like we say, they're still in pole position with the back half of the season now well underway.
Okay, so let's go now to steps 5 and 6, Patrick. I've been looking through the results, and I could only find one local team in action, I think, which is Kidlington, who all managed to get a fixture on, Patrick.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because Saturday was a really nice day, wasn't it? The sun was out all day. Still a little bit chilly, but it's easy to forget that it was still really horrible week leading up to it. So, unfortunately, the Combined Counties League was decimated again. As you say, it was only Kidlington. They did get a much-needed 1-0 win, though, against Wokingham Town. Cowan Bittencourt D'Oliveira, who's on loan from Oxford City, got the only goal of the game for Kidlington that night. I mean, not many of our teams are in action, but Wallingford, they dropped to 4th. Kidlington have overtaken Ardley United in the table at the moment. They sit 6th, while Ardley are below in 7th, albeit Ardley do have several games in hand. A bit lower down though, Milton United sit 10th, Abingdon United 14th, and Northley sit 18th there. And as we have mentioned several times before, it's really hard to know who sits where in reality because there's so many different games in hand on various teams. Edenton Sports did get a game on though on Saturday in the United Counties South. They did fall to a 2-0 defeat against Northampton Silby Rangers though. They still sit 17th in that division, still fairly safe from relegation. Hellenic Division 1, and as you said, Colin, you were looking to go down to Wantage Town. They were probably quite thankful you didn't, because they did win after a few iffy results in recent weeks. They beat Brimscombe and Thrupp 2-1. Callum Crook and Luke Whelan got 2 goals before Brimscombe got one back. But yes, got back to winning ways, and it's a much needed win also for Clanfield. They beat Malmesbury Victoria 3-2. While bottom side, Tame United Reserves also earned a point. They got a 2-2 draw at Cheltenham Saracens. It doesn't change the table though for those two. Brings Clanfield 6 points from safety. Tame is still bottom on 6 points, so there's not really a good season for them. Wantage Town, they do remain second, but sadly FC Stratford are starting to look a bit like runaway leaders. They've got a 5 points lead with 2 games in hand on Wantage. So Stratford are looking to pull away there. Otherwise, it was just Casterton sit in 14th. They weren't in league action this weekend, but they were in County Cup action. They played Woodcote and beat them 3-2 to book their place in the Senior Cup semi-final. And that is along with Oxford City at the moment, who beat Oxford United in the same competition last Tuesday. 2 goals deep in stoppage time for City that game, I have to say, to get it through. Still 2 places up for grabs, though, with games coming up. I'm going to try and remember what they are. And I know one of them is Banbury versus Kidlington, got postponed a few weeks ago. I don't know what the other game is, but still 2 teams looking to complete the lineup of the Senior Cup semi-finals. Oxford City and Oxford City and Casterton, are the 2 teams already confirmed there.
Okay, so we already mentioned the action from the Kassam Stadium on Sunday, but were our women's teams also in action on Sunday, Patrick?
It was a quiet one. Oxford United were always without a game. Oxford City were scheduled to play Easington Sports Ladies. That was cancelled, however. City getting a walkover into the next round of the Women's Senior Cup. Abingdon United's game went ahead, though. They faced Ascot United in the Berks and Bucks Senior Cup. However, they were defeated 3-0, so exited the competition. So we have a look what's coming up this weekend, and there's pretty much a full list of fixtures. It's a long trip for Oxford United. They head up to Middlesbrough in the EFL Championship. That's a 3 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. And as we were talking about earlier in the podcast, if you've not listened to it, if you're watching a live show, if you listen to the podcast, that line probably sounds a little bit weird. But Oxford United probably do a bit better against the teams at the top of the table. So, really tough game for them there, especially in their fight to survive. Another big match for Oxford City as well. They host Marine, who are making the journey to Oxford in National League North. That's a 3 p.m. kickoff down at the M Group Stadium. Banbury United, they're on their travels, looking to make it 6 wins in 6. With a really impressive run of form. That's in the Southern League Premier Central. Tame United are on the travels. They just head down the M40 to Beaconsfield Town in Division 1 Central. And finally, Didcot Town make the trip to Sporting Club Inkbarrow in Division 1 South, which is an interestingly named team. Sunday, Oxford United have a big Women's FA Cup tie. They welcome Charlton Athletic to the M Group Stadium. That's a 2 p.m. kickoff if you want to get behind the U's there. Abingdon United host Maidenhead United at North Court, also a 2 p.m. kickoff. And finally, Oxford City on the road. They head to Badshot Lee in the Southern Region Women's Football League Premier, looking to get some points as they've had a bit of an iffy league season so far.
Thank you very much indeed, Patrick Locke. That is what's happened over the weekend of the 14th and 15th of February. I'm Colin Ryde, and thanks to my guest, Patrick Locke. Thanks for listening, and bye for now. Well, that's it for this week's Ox Sports Unleashed podcast review of Oxfordshire's football with Colin Ryde and Patrick Locke. If you'd like your club to feature on this podcast or on our YouTube show that live streams every Thursday at 8 o'clock, then drop us a line at oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. That's oxsportsunleashed, all one word, @gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for listening, and bye for now.